Coming up on the I'm a Car Chick podcast, part 2 with guest Sandy Zannino.
At SEMA, a couple of years ago at SEMA, I talked at SEMA, and I went to a session where I was entranced. This man wrote a book called, I think it's called Untapped Resource, right? And what he believes is because of the labor shortage, foreign-born workers, because the Bureau of Labor Statistics measures this stuff, because family was one of the main values. I'm pretty sure they have paid like maternity, paternity leave. Right?
That's so needed. The paternity leave is so low in this country.
It's so hard. I remember I was a single mom early. I had to work. Ariana was 2 weeks old and I was in doing payroll.
Gripes.
Revving up the auto industry, one conversation at a time. Featuring industry leaders, auto experts, and trailblazers. We are bringing you unfiltered interviews highlighting the voices all around the industry. Let's cut through the noise. Join us. Let's light it up together. Hosted by Shasta Haddock. This is I'm a Car Chick podcast.
What's the ultimate passion driving the creation of the podcast?
So, the podcast is going to be called Ready, Set, Auto, right? Because a big part of it is that I want to bring this good news to youth, right? Starting at middle school and high school. So the plan, and I'm sure that it'll evolve like everything else that I do, will evolve. But my plan is that I want to interview everybody I can, right? Especially people who are young and successful in this industry, who have jumped in and realized like, oh my gosh, this is fantastic. You know, I love it. I want to keep doing this. I have a whole list of people that I want to get with. You know, I also want to talk to schools, you know, Northwood University. I want to talk to LP, yes. Right? I want to interview him. I want to interview people like you. You know, I want to start doing what you do in this podcast, but with other people.
Yeah.
And find out. I also want to talk with OEMs, right? I want to find out, because there's a lot I don't know. Like, what are the paths? What is the path at an OEM? What about banking, right? Chase, Bank of America, they all do floor plan. They're all like, there's just so much. So I want to talk to organizations. I want to talk to people on the ground. I want to talk to young kids who are thinking about what they want to do with their life, and have they ever thought about automotive? No. Well, why not? Well, let's talk about that. What do you think about it? Maybe I can see, like, the ideas are coming to me as I'm talking to you, right?
I really wonder, and I wonder how much people feel that they're limited by where they live. Like, I think about, you just mentioned like Chase Bank and some of the bigger names like that in the OEMs, and like that didn't even come to my mind because like I don't have any of that where I live. Like, there are no Chase Banks here. There are there's no OEM headquarters anywhere near me. Probably Chicago or Detroit would be the closest, or maybe Dallas. And so like those are things that never even come to mind for me, where someone who lives in a big city like Chicago, like Detroit, where they're constantly surrounded by, the GMs or the Stellantis people of the world, or the Chase Bank or the Capital Ones or whoever they are, where people who work there. I wonder how much that plays an impact. And if we can see a decline of people coming into the space in areas where those facilities aren't located.
And that is a really great question. As you're saying that, like, about OEMs, I'm like, all right, so, Toyota, Lexus is in Torrance, Jaguar, Land Rover is in New Jersey, unless they've moved, right? I think that there's manufacturers in Texas, I think, and of course there's Michigan, there's GM that's in Michigan. And that may be true. There's also a lot of virtual work. A lot.
Yep.
Right? Like, there's a lot of virtual jobs. And how do you get started? And also the other thing I wanted to say is, I know I'm not the first person to have this idea.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know what is going on in like at the OEMs. The OEMs might be doing some of this outreach. I don't believe they are in my area, right? But they might be. I think we're and maybe they are at college level, right? I think for OEMs and certain vendors, you do need to have a college degree, right? Like I think Cars Commerce, right? Like it needs to have a bachelor's degree. There's going to be certain and for certain roles, but there's so they're probably looking at high school and college, right?
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot that we can do in middle school, starting young, just talking about the industry, making it cool, right? Like, your son is like, no, what do I want to do that for? Right? Yet, who knows? He might be the next designer at Maserati.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Or he could be an engineer. I don't know what he likes. Like, does he like putting things together? Does he change the oil in your car?
Oh my God. He's a Lego freak. So he has a gajillion Legos, like the box sets that come together. He loves putting those together. He, for years, wanted to be in architecture. So he obviously likes design. So, I mean, there actually might be something
go
there.
a lot of different ways. Like, I think that we need to stop our mindset too, because you immediately were like, why don't you go be a mechanic, right? Like be a technician.
Yeah.
And I've started to like widen that as I'm looking like all of the different things that are available. Because of course I'm most familiar with dealership life, right? And all the many roles in dealership life. Accounting is a big one. I have a client that I do some recruiting for to find office managers and controllers. I've even found try and find a payroll person or AR, AP. It is unbelievable. And I keep talking to her about, you need to start paying attention to who you hired for reception, who's really on the ball, right?
Yeah.
Who seems to be really sharp. And we must begin to grow our people from within. We must begin to, right? Like, I mean, of course I do some recruiting and it helps me, I'm making money, right? But it drives me crazy too. I charge so much. Like I still have like a dealer mindset. I charge almost nothing for my recruiting compared to what other people charge. Like they charge 25, 30%. I'm like, I can't do it. Right. But we need to stop the mindset of if I need this experience and skill, I'll just buy it from somewhere. Right. We need to build it. You need to build it.
Grow it from within. Yeah.
Yeah. That's actually what I'm going to talk about at WIA.
Yeah.
Is about how we can build this.
Yeah, I'm psyched for that. I think that that's going to be a really good session. It's obviously needed. I think back to, and it's making me like the gears are turning in my head at the same time. I remember having a podcast, like I think probably the first year the podcast existed. So going on 3 years ago, we had a conversation with a dealer in Illinois who, and I can't remember the details, but it was something along the lines of she required her staff when interviewing for a position to interview like a specific number of candidates to ensure, like, even if you loved the first one, you still had to interview X amount more to ensure that you were casting a wide net, you were diverse in the people that you were meeting with, and something else. And it was like, she was like, we came to find, when people would stop applying, we would change up the verbiage and take the word customer service out of it and put it into client relations or something along those lines. And she's like, and then we found out that more women would apply and so on and so forth. And she was talking about how she was doing these things. And I think we stay victim so much to just who applies for a job that we put out there, that it's like, what are we doing to go and seek the candidates we want?
So okay. You just said so much there because there's.
I did. Sorry.
Well, I mean, all in a short space, right? I think that's so smart to diversify, just like we do when we're, investing, monetarily, right? Your talent pool, right? Your slate of candidates, right? Make sure. I mean, in retail, we just don't teach people how to interview. We go from feeling, right? Like I connected with this person. This is who I'm going to hire, and that's it. But we need to test people. We need to start testing people. Any controller that I interview now and is interested in the role has a test. It's a 10-question test that's created by controllers, right? Because I need to know, because anybody can have a, and interviewing, like I dig down and with the world of AI and the job ads with AI, you can put, this is my job ad, and it's not a job description, right? Your job description is not your job ad. It shouldn't be. If it is, you're doing the wrong thing. Anyway, but this is, I need an ad that is gender neutral. Right. A few years ago, there were actual tools for this, right? Because we do it without thinking about it. And what else did you say that like, there are so many things about that
falling victim to how we wait for people to apply instead of going out and seeking them.
This is the other thing, right? So this is the way I look at recruitment, right? I see talent acquisition as one thing, and I see recruiting as another. Talent acquisition to me is you put a job ad out, somebody answers the resumes, and that's your talent pool, right? That to me is talent acquisition. It's also been called post and pray, right? You post an ad and pray you get a good one that comes in. I don't do that. When I'm looking for somebody, I want, and I've done this for years, I want the person who's working, right? I want somebody who's in their job. So when I recruit, I ask a million questions. Sometimes the client has to be willing to tell me what their value proposition is, because I say I'm not good at sales, but I am good at convincing people why they should leave where they are and come to this place, right? But for me, that must be authentic, right? So
did you know that there's a monthly newsletter where you can keep in touch with everything the I'm a Car Chick podcast is up to? There is. Check out the show notes below, and you can also follow us on all social media and stay in tune with whatever we're up to.
I think that actual real recruiting, going to find the people that you want, which is, I think, is how you put it, right? Instead of people coming to you, is going to be how we all have to do this. Because remember, we're going to have a big labor shortage. Everybody's already working who wants to work. Our unemployment is so low. It's been low for years and years now after COVID, right? After COVID, it's too low, to tell you the truth. But everybody's working who wants to work. So we're going to have to get good at doing this stuff, at finding people, so I think that's a great point. Getting the people that you want. And how did you say it? Getting the people that you want instead of waiting for them to come to you.
Yeah. And there is such a process to it, and it takes the right person to do it, because, the wrong person left in charge of hiring, you're going to end up with everybody who looks and acts like them, because those are going to be the people they connect with. And so it has to be someone, almost a third party, someone that has no skin in the game or no biases or anything like that they could alter that decision on. And while it is important to connect with, who you're hiring, it's also important to get the right person for the job.
It absolutely is, right? We often think, and I think we often think, everybody believes, I only want to hire the best person for the job, right? Which is a truth, but do we? Do we? Right? If we're making
the best person for the job, that's also the cheapest.
Well, that too, right? I did have a therapist once when I was bitching about, not getting paid enough of what I felt that I was worth. She was like, look, it's their job to, get as much out of you for as little as possible. And I was like,
yep.
You know what? That is what it is. But we also need to begin to pay people what they're worth.
Yeah.
Right. Especially if we want to keep them. But we can't just throw money at people. It isn't about just money. It's there's a thing, I've mentioned this phrase, value proposition, a couple of times. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the group has to look at their benefit. They have to look at where they're going to do. Remember that Maslow hierarchy of needs? Have you ever seen that?
Mm-mm.
It's a triangle, right? So it's interesting, and it is a sociological study. It's been around forever. So the bottom rung is a roof over their head, safety, I believe it's called.
Mm-hmm.
Safety, right? And as it goes up, it goes to like self-actualization, right? So people have certain needs that dealers need to look at and figure out how they're going to fulfill them. They also have fears, right? They need to allay those fears and figure out what it is that people want. Really start thinking about how they're going to do that. I have a whole roadmap to how you do that.
And I kind of like that way of thinking, because it's got me thinking like, money isn't always everybody's love language. Maybe it's more paid time off so that they can go visit their relatives back home. Or maybe it's, maybe for whatever reason, they don't have the credit to buy a car. And so maybe you can set up a lease program with them, or maybe they have some medical stuff going on in their family and you can put more money into their HSA. Or, it's just like small things like this that my brain's just kind of like going on right now. But like, can you imagine the loyalty of someone that would stick around if you did something like that?
Here's the other thing, right? That and there's a group, the Walzer group. Sherry Schultz is the CHRO at Walzer, and she's so brilliant at this. Because often, like, we'll say, okay, I'm going to give them this, and they're going to love it, right? But we don't know that, right? You need to talk to your people, and they do. Every new hire does this whole values. It's almost like a workshop, really. And through years of doing that, they've come up with actual core values that are real, that have come from like the top 5 after polling all of their employees, right? And from that, they then have created, let's just look at benefits. They've created their value proposition based on what their employees want, right? One of them is they do they help with help me, Shasta, what's it called when a couple is trying hard to have a baby and they can't?
Oh, IVF.
Right. Like they do some stuff with that. They have adoption. They have an adoption benefit.
That's amazing.
They have, because family was one of the main values. They have paid, I'm pretty sure they have paid like maternity, paternity leave.
Right? That's so needed. The paternity leave is so low in this country.
It's so hard. I mean, I had 0, right? So, I mean, I was blessed. Remember, I was a single mom early, and I had to work. I was blessed that, my Ariana was 2 weeks old and I was in doing payroll.
Jesus Christ.
She stayed with me for the first 4 months. I went to work with her in her little swing thing.
Can you imagine nowadays a baby in a dealership just in a little swing?
Isn't going to happen. I mean, this was many years ago, and I wasn't in the dealership either. We had a separate corporate office, right? And they told me if this were in the dealership, this would not be happening. I'm like, I know. And then finally, she was old enough that I could, because you can't put a newborn in childcare.
Well, and let's talk about how unreliable childcare is nowadays. I mean, that's a whole ass other podcast, but
and how expensive it is. Shasta, we could talk about, why don't they have us solve the world?
You know what I was thinking about earlier is why you don't see more daycares in dealerships for employees.
That ends up becoming, I think there is one, and it's, I don't want to misspeak. I think there was, no, I think they do that where, Ed, oh my gosh, why am I blanking on his name? He's a service manager, but now he's GM. He wrote a book. Oh, he's fantastic. I'll tell you his name in a second because now I have to go look it up. Ed Roberts. Ed Roberts.
Ah,
It came to me. I think the group that he works for, the store, that I think that they have it. But you would have to set up a separate business,
yeah,
right? And it would have to run. It's a lot just running a daycare.
yeah,
Like I understand why they don't want to deal with it, because car dealerships already have to deal with compliance like a bank deals with compliance, with
Mhm.
F&I, with sales, with
Yeah.
the FTC, with the blah blah. I mean, it's endless. And then HR comes along and they're like, "Hey, we have compliance too."
Yeah.
There's so much. So insurance, and although there could be a way to subsidize that for people because it's expensive. I
Mhm.
mean, my daughter's 22 now, but I remember I paid $145 a week.
That's a
don't know
lot of
how I
money for a
did it.
single parent.
I don't know how I did it. Well, I'll tell you what, I don't have a lot of retirement saved, right? Like, this is how we hurt our people in the long run
Mhm.
by not thinking about creative ways that we can help them,
Yeah.
right? Like, because I worked for all these years, I had no disposable income because I needed to pay for childcare. I needed to, all of that stuff.
Mhm.
It is what it
I know.
is.
That's what I'm saying. We could do this all day. I did
I
have
know.
I did have a very specific thing I wanted to ask you.
I'm ready.
I'm in several female only automotive Facebook groups. And I feel like I see a recurring theme in there, which is, I'm sure you're fully on the same boat. It's along the lines of, this happened at the dealership. The woman reporting, this happened at the dealership. I took it to my HR, I took it to my manager, and nothing happened about it. They either didn't believe me, or they didn't side with me. They sided with the GM, or they sided with whoever. I mean, I saw a story, I think last week or the week before, something about a woman getting onto because she wasn't wearing enough makeup or something like that. Like, they got onto her for
I
not
think
wearing
I might
makeup.
have saw that one.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, how do we, for the dealerships that don't have either an established HR, or the HR does not separate themselves from being directly under the GM, how do we solve that? Or what do you recommend to those women?
So honestly, for what I would recommend to women like that is leave, go somewhere else.
I usually say the same thing.
What I recommend to HR is get some training, right? Because and also for managers, there is a way. No matter doesn't matter what you think, right? Instead of talking about how to respond, there is a very simple response to any employee that comes to you. And of course, it's going to be at the time, like we talked about earlier, when something's blowing up and you don't have time for anything else. And then an employee comes to you with a challenge,
Mm-hmm.
and or with a complaint. And the way that every manager should respond to that is say, first of all, thank you for bringing this to our attention. Right? We believe in what is in our handbook, right? And so there are, by company, there are certain things that we need to do now. And then you take it to HR, and HR better, or should be, know how to do an investigation if an investigation is needed. An investigation can be simple to complex,
Mm-hmm.
right? But there should be one. There should always be a response. If there's not a response, you are leaving yourself open to a lawsuit.
Yeah.
If you don't respond, I could find you lawsuits where that was the problem.
Yeah.
Like, there was no response, and it could be an easy fix. somewhere out there in the world, like, I don't know, 8 years ago or so, I did some videos about how to not respond. Don't ever say, "Oh, they didn't mean it. They were just joking." Right? Um, Never do that. I mean, like this person that you're talking about where they wanted this person to change who they are.
This episode is brought to you by SCP Agency, your one-stop shop for organic social media. Check them out by clicking the link in the show notes or visit scpagency.com.
Right? To fit a mold that, given that they wanted this person to wear more makeup, to fit a mold so that what? She would attract more men? You know, the stuff that goes on, and these things go on.
Mm-hmm.
You would think that we had evolved. And I think that there are some stores that do. Because what happens, Shasta, and I think this is like the middle ground gets lost.
Yeah.
Right? People then say, "Oh my God, all this is such a pain in the ass. You can't say anything to anybody." Right? When that is not true.
Mm-mm.
Right? Just because you can't say inappropriate or do inappropriate things doesn't mean that you can't do anything or be human, right? Because you can be human.
And that's such a huge topic, like generationally.
We can talk about that. Yes. Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. We had in our family, we had a whole conversation about this last week, like things from the 70s and 80s that you cannot do or say now. And it's like, they had to teach themselves that this was no longer okay. But like, also, it's not like some manual was passed around to everybody of things you can and cannot say. And different people are offended by different things, or, take offense, not even offended by it, but take offense when a certain word is said. And so, I mean, generational.
Here's the thing with offense, right? And it's kind of like, for me, it's kind of like a role in HR. The person who is offended is driving that train, right? Never tell someone they shouldn't be offended by something. So that's the perspective that you need to take. And who wants to offend people? Nobody. Right? If somebody came to me, if one of my friends came to me, or my husband came to me and said, "This bothered me," I would be like, "I am sorry. What can I do better?" That's all employers need to do. That is all they need to do. And 50% of the lawsuits that you see, and I'm not going to say that there's not people that aren't running around out there wanting to sue people, especially if they perceive deep pockets. It's true. But a lot of the lawsuits I see are all preventable. I think they're preventable just by saying, "I am sorry that this happened. How can we do better?"
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, I could talk about that forever. And I've got a lot of stories about not doing better. When it's easier to do better.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And it's easier to care. It's full circle. It goes back to what we were talking about earlier. It's easier to care, and it works out better in the long run if you care.
Yeah. And it's caring. That's actually one of my Zoom background. It's care, compliance, culture, and connection. Right? Like those are those 4 C's for me. If I'm leading with that and creating an environment with those things in mind, right? I can't go wrong, whether it's with a client, whether if it's being interviewed on a podcast, whether it's on the ground, whether it's with my kid or my husband.
Yeah.
Well, the compliance for the kid and the husband.
Oh. You must abide by these rules.
They're my rules.
Yeah.
So,
No, I can agree with they're great pillars to live by for sure. I know we have taken up way more time than I planned, but this was a good conversation.
Serious editing here so that it's not
fine. No, it was good conversation and it was stuff that was needed. What is, I want to get your last take on something. What is something that you want to, I have a really heavy, predominantly female audience that obviously works in the industry. What do you want to leave these ladies with? What piece of information, what nugget, if they could take away one thing, what's the one thing you want them to take away from this?
Oh, one thing. Maybe it's going to be take care of yourself first. Make sure that you're getting enough rest. Make sure that you are eating right. Making sure that you're getting everything you need, right? Because we can't take care of anybody else unless we're taking care of ourselves, right? You'll be better for it. You'll feel better. Sleep is a big one for me.
You can't pour from an empty cup is the thing I always go to.
And leave where, like, go. There's going to be plenty of jobs. There's going to be a labor shortage, right? Like, they better wake up.
Yeah.
They better wake up. So don't accept behaviors that are unacceptable.
I love that. That was, I couldn't have picked a better one. So I'm glad that's what you picked. If somebody wants to connect with you, what is the best way for them to do so?
Oh, find me on LinkedIn is a great way to connect with me, or you can call me at 941-306-8310.
She answers. I know that for a fact.
I do. I answer. I answer a lot, even if it says, well, I don't answer if it says scam likely, but if it's an unknown number, I do answer it too. So
freaking Robin answers all the calls to her phone. I'm like, will you stop answering the phone? You get in these yelling matches with people that are in another country on another continent. Like, don't answer the damn phone. Let your voicemail get it.
Even the scam likely.
Yes. Oh my god.
Oh my god. The scam. Somehow, some way, I get, I don't know, probably 10 a day.
Jeez,
I delete so many voicemails and text messages, transcribed text messages and whatnot.
One of the greatest things iPhone has done, and I can't remember the name of the setting, but there's this new setting where it will screen calls for you that aren't saved in your phone, and it makes them give their name before it'll even ring to you, and then you get to see on your phone, this is who they say they are, and you get to choose whether you answer it or not.
I need to find that.
Let me see if I can find it really quick.
I'm making a note.
iPhone tutorial. Call screen. Nope, that's not it. Call quietly. That's not it. Call forwarding. Call recording.
I'm going to Google it. iPhone setting for screening calls.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called. I know let's see. Is it silence unknown callers?
I'm going to ask ChatGPT.
Yeah.
You know what? I called somebody recently that must have had that, because when they answered, I said, oh, I want what you have on your phone. And they were like, what do I have? Like, they don't even know that they had it.
Okay, so I found it. It's in phone. If you go to settings and go to phone, and then you scroll down, so you've got your calls, you've got haptics, hold assist detection, live voicemail, and then underneath that, screen unknown callers. So I have.
All right.
So I'm in settings, and then phone.
I don't see phone.
Okay,
I've got settings, airplane mode.
Oh, I'm in apps. Settings, apps, and then phone.
Oh, apps. Oh, it's an app. Settings, apps. Go to default apps, because I'm looking at all my apps. Oh, so then maybe there's a phone app. Go to P, Sandy.
Yep. I'm getting all the way back to the beginning so I can find it with you. Yeah.
Okay, no, I got it. Phone. Yep.
So then scroll down. You've got incoming calls, announced calls, my number, keep going. Sure. Under haptics, hold assist detection, and live voicemail, you should have screen unknown callers.
I don't have. Oh, screen unknown callers. It says never. All right. So ask reason for calling. Calls from unsaved numbers will be asked for more information before iPhone rings, and calling and data rates may apply. Whatever they have to say.
That's the one I have turned on, and so I almost never get rang from strange numbers that aren't saved.
I just turned mine on. Shasta, I should pay you for this podcast, because
it's been a game changer. I'm telling you, they never give their name.
You know what I want to do? I want to delete you from my phone, because I want to test it. Like, I need somebody whose number is not in my phone. So, I have somebody here. I'm going to have 2 people here tonight.
Do it.
I'm definitely going to, because I need to test it, so thank you,
There we go.
Shasta.
See, free knowledge on the podcast. That's what
I
we're here
love
for.
it. I love it. I love it.
Thank you so much for coming on today. This was awesome conversation. So many great conversations we had. And honestly, for as much conversation as we had, an hour and 22 minutes is not bad.
Yeah. Well, you could probably break this up into 2
Probably.
podcasts, right?
I might have to.
And thinking about doing my podcast, I'm like, all right, so do I need to do limit the time? Because I'll talk to people forever. Right.
It really depends. What I've learned is it depends on the person. So there's my goal used to be 30 minutes ish. And that it mostly still is the goal, but I don't go in with pre-planned questions, and that's different than a lot of podcasters. Like a lot of podcasters will go in, they'll know what they want to talk about. I'm too ADHD to follow that format because and I just talked about this on my last episode because she was one that was like, I'd like some questions ahead of time. And I'm like, I hate that. But you start here and the conversation naturally goes this way, but your planned question was like over here. So you got to backtrack to the point where you can then get back to that point, and it just derails the whole thing. So I used to be really, really good at keeping them at 30 minutes. I haven't had one under an hour in a long time other than NADA. So I'm getting really bad about it because I love talking. I love people. And
but really I could get ChatGPT to help me, and I could come up with 5 questions depending on who I'm talking to. Right. Mm-hmm. So if I'm talking to employers, I could have 5 questions for employers, like what roles are available? How do people start? Do you have, blah, 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 blah. For young people, I can talk about, I can have questions.
Yeah. So build out, like if you, so how you filled out my intake form, that's a website called Podpage. It's a website for podcasts. So, Bobby Heron gifted me mine. I know I'll keep it forever just because of that. She built it out and gifted it to us. And, the great thing that you could do with that is you take all of the information from that intake form, you can throw it into chat and say, hey, with what you know about me and the podcast, what questions would be best for my audience based on everything this person gave me? And so then it'll build out great questions for you, things that you wouldn't even thought to ask. Right. Especially if your chat is well informed on your podcast and who your ideal audience is and what your main mission is, then it will cater it to that.
All right. Yeah.
I freaking love ChatGPT. People are already starting to knock ChatGPT, and I'm like, I love it. I
mean, I don't know. I know that there's Claude. I'm a novice. I am a complete novice, but I actually did just buy. I now am paying monthly for a ChatGPT.
I do too.
I haven't been able to get it to give me a good profile picture because I don't feel like going and paying somebody to do.
I will say I think Gemini is better with pictures, but you can have chat if you tell chat what you want. Like, hey, I'm going to upload a picture of myself to.
You've made it this far, and I have to say thank you so much for listening. Please be sure to rate the show, whether you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, subscribe on YouTube, and of course on all social media channels. Light it up.
Gemini to have it give me a good profile picture. Can you give me a prompt for that to where it keeps all of my features without changing anything, but just enhances what I have?
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I need a new. It's been 5 years since I had a headshot.
At the Women in Automotive conference, we have headshots.
Yes, and I've been to many conferences and I never do it. I'm too busy running around talking to people.
And I don't know if it's actually going to happen, but the conversation that happened today was that we're going to also try to bring in a makeup artist. So we will have makeup for the headshots.
That would be really great because that's what I saved. Because my latest ones that I had were so great. It was like this. They came from this photo shoot that people were doing for people 50 over 50. And when I was like, oh my God, I got to take the hair and makeup girl with me wherever I go now.
Dude, the ones on your website, the black and white picture that's attached to your services, that's a hot picture. I don't know where that came from, but
that's those pictures that I look at these and I'm like, I need to take. Oh, they're fantastic. There's so many. I have so many that I don't even use. like some really, really great ones like she did my hair like in a pompadour.
Mm-hmm.
I'll send you a couple of them. I have so many of them, but
Yes.
there's just like a couple of them that I use for.
I see, and it's funny because I've been actually thinking about that lately too, is hooking up with a local photographer for to do a photo shoot. And I'm just like one of those, I'm like, oh, I'll do it once I lose weight or once I do whatever with my hair.
You know who's great at that is Katie Mares. Katie always has fantastic pictures.
She takes them herself too. I'm 97% sure that she just sets her phone up on like a timer
tripod or something, and then
on the ground on a tripod against something. I'm pretty sure. I'll ask her to make sure, but I'm pretty sure she takes her own photos. She's just that gorgeous. I'm like, I can barely get a good selfie.
And she has a pretty heart too. That just reminds me how I've always went, because my daughter is beautiful. I don't know if you've ever seen Ariana.
I don't think so.
Sometimes I look at her and I don't know how, like, she really is beautiful. And she's so smart. But when she was a baby, because I mean, like, even as a baby, I would just be like, let's say I'm in the mall strolling and people would stop me. Oh my God, your baby's so beautiful. So I used to say to her all the time that it was more important to be beautiful inside than it is to be on the outside. And so to the point, like, I could ask her today, I could probably be like, where's it more important to be beautiful? she would know what on the inside, Mom, you know, she would know.
I love that. And no, Katie, it's I'm definitely all for, like, I'm like, I got to get a photo shoot or something done, or I have like one photo from the headshot I got at Women in Automotive 2 years ago. I didn't do it last year. I don't know why I didn't do it. I don't know what I had going on. Anyways, didn't do it last year, but I'm like, I need to do where I have several options and not just one.
Yes, exactly.
That's the thing, is having the several angles, several shirts, and
that honestly, was the photo shoot that I did. It was like this local they were looking for 50 women who were over 50. Right. Which that's me. Oh my God. In a couple of years, we could go the next decade. You know, so
time flies, doesn't it? Like you just really wake up one day and you're like, oh man, I graduated high school how long ago?
Girl, that's what I'm saying. This 9 years until where boomers are going to be completely gone out of the workforce is going to fly by. And then where are we going to be? We can't wait until it's here. We cannot wait until it's here to start learning about these generations. We don't know. We have no idea what Gen Alpha is going to be like in the workplace. But we have a pretty good idea now of what Gen Z is going to be like in the workplace, right? They're all going to have a second gig. A lot of them are going to have a side gig, right?
Yep.
You know, and
very few of them are going to have kids. Yeah, very few of them are going to have kids. And that's another thing too, is as the generations keep coming, less people are having kids.
Yes, this isn't going to help us. This isn't going to help us. And other interesting facts. I mean, we're going to have to find. You might find this interesting. At SEMA, a couple of years ago at SEMA, I talked at SEMA, and I went to a session where I was entranced. This was just before the election, actually. And he talked about this. He said, he talked about the labor shortage. And this man wrote a book called, I think it's called Untapped Resource, right? And what he believes is because of the labor shortage, also knowing that over the last, I don't know, 6, 7, let's say the last 10 years, foreign-born workers, because the Bureau of Labor Statistics measures this stuff, foreign-born workers have outpaced American-born workers entering the workforce over and over and over and over. So we have eliminated a lot of foreign-born workers, right? And he said, if depends on who wins the election, but this could get worse, right? Like what I'm telling you now could get worse. And I think it has quite a bit of merit. the untapped resource for talent could be second chance programs, for example, right?
Dude.
Because, and but they would have to be crafted with care, right? And in a way, because many, of course, nonviolent offenders
Mm-hmm.
is, um, but many people end up back in the system because, first of all, it's hard to get a job. Second of
Mm-hmm.
all, what do you need to go get a job?
Driver's license, birth certificate.
A home, you need a license, you need exactly.
Car.
Getting all that stuff. That's where we need to, if that's your passion, right? Like if there's a lot of creative ways, right? But if that's something that would interest an employer, I would want to craft that from, okay, first we're going to help you with a blueprint of how to get all this stuff.
Yeah.
Where do you go to get your what do you need to get your license? What do you need to get your Social Security card? What do you need to go, to get all these things?
Mm-hmm.
That you need to even apply.
Yeah.
For a job.
I mean, and that opens up like a whole other conversation that I commented on a post on LinkedIn yesterday. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was something about like disqualifying people who have certain backgrounds or whatever. And I'm like, people don't realize how missed of an opportunity it is to hire felons. Some of the best employees we have ever had felonies on their record.
Absolutely. I
will stand by that all day.
Yes. And believe me, I am a proponent of doing a background screen, right? You need to do a background screen in order to protect your company, because if, let's say, somebody was convicted for rape, right?
Workplace of women.
Yes. You need to know who is coming to work for you. That said, I don't know anywhere that is not you can't, it is illegal to not hire someone based on their background screen, unless it has something to do with the job that they're going to do, as long as they've disclosed it on the application, right?
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, you can't there's a question, and these days, this is where this is the boring stuff that comes in. But anymore, there's a lot of states that have, it's called ban the box, because people do make these decisions, right, based on the background screen. So the states that have a ban the box law cannot do a background screen until a conditional offer of employment is made, right? So we've been through the interview process. I like you a lot. Now here's this addendum to the application, and that has the question: you may have seen it before. Have you ever been
convicted of a felony?
Well, convicted, adjudicated, withheld. It's a long question, right? That I would recommend. It's been a while since I've helped anybody make an application. But I would want to ask the attorney, how should this be worded, right? Mm-hmm. And so then they answer yes or no. And if it's yes, there's always a space to explain, right? Have the explanation. So if someone puts no and something comes back on their background screen, that is your reason for not hiring them, not what came back on the background screen.
The fact that they lied.
Yes. That they were untruthful, right? Yeah. That is your reason. If it's, let's say it's the role is for F&I and they were convicted of fraud, financial fraud, really great reason to not hire somebody in F&I, right? Or a controller, anybody that's got to handle money, right? Or, there are reasons, but I do not recommend people to be like black and white if anything comes back on a background screen. If it's not clean, squeaky clean, like a 20-year-old is going to be. I wouldn't get hired at places. I have 2 DUIs from, 35 years ago. It's still on my background. It's a crime. I didn't know that. Yeah. I mean, so, people change. That's another thing.
Yeah.
You have to look at having a conversation like, hey, this came up. It's a concern. Let's talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And we could also go down the
I know. We got
how
to stop talking
often
to each other.
I know. We'll be
Good
here for 2
conversation.
hours. I love
Good
talking with you, Shasta.
We need to do it more.
Yeah, I really am delighted that we're getting to know each other a little better, and
I'm so excited for your show, and I will support you any way I know how. I mean, whatever you need, I'm here. It's an important initiative, and I think more people need to know about it. So I'm
thank you.
super psyched to see you speak at WIA, and get to be a part of that. And I'm gonna make sure that we either get I don't know, a night of dancing or dinner or something, because
There's a gala. Like, what? I got to bring
and a pajama
dress.
party.
So I got to bring a fancy dress and pajamas.
We provide the pajamas. That's the cool part.
Oh, there's WIA pajamas, so I don't have to. Oh, great! I don't have to. One less thing for me to pack.
Yes,
but I do need to pack like gala, like gown gala.
I think so. I don't even own a gown. I've never owned a gown. So like I have my wedding dress that I paid $30 for, but that's the closest it comes.
Oh, well, you need a gown. Everyone
I know.
needs a gown. Every woman needs a gown. So it's time. It's time, Shasta.
I know. It is.
You're
I'm just
hilarious.
not that dressy, makeup-y hair girl.
Your gown can be not that dressy, makeup-y hair. Be you. You should be you.
I'll find a way. I'll find a way to make
yeah.
it Shastified.
Yeah.
I'm psyched for this. Okay.
Shasta.
All right, guys, we gotta go. We have
everybody.
done so much, but until next time, be sure to connect with Sandy, because obviously she is a wealth of knowledge. She's uber connected. Do all the things to find her. Until next time.